Hi, good day. Welcome to CMS. We'll continue today the cost breakdown in cost estimation. Last time we finished the finishings work, so we'll start now. Find how CMS entering the other lump sum work and subcontract work. For MAB, we informed before how to insert the MAB in the quantity surveying for all electric work and sanitary and fire system and HVAC system. And this, as we informed before, either it will be direct by the subcontractors or we can make a tentative cost estimation to confirm or to ensure the fitness of the subcontract prices. We saw how CMS treat with the MAB work in the quantity surveying. CMS only taking this price and reflecting this price in this sheet of the cost breakdown and inserting whatever we insert in the cost breakdown. As we are seeing here, that for electric work, that's the cost of electric work and the price after we inserting the overhead and profit. The same also for water supply and drainage. That's the cost which we inserted before in the MAB quantity surveying work. Here is the thermal and moisture protection. What we did before is inserting the description and the quantities for all the waterproofing system in the quantity surveying work. When we worked in the quantity surveying, here in the finishing and waterproofing, whatever we inserted here from quantities, we'll find it's reflected on the cost estimation. Waterproof. What we will do is only inserting the cost per meter for each type of the activities. How much per meter for each type. Or if we have a lump sum like this, we'll just add the lump sum price. So each type will just add the cost per meter. At the end, we'll find the total cost of the waterproofing and the final price after we add the overhead and profits. The same for the metal. The metal is the aluminum. As we saw before how to inserted all the opening, we'll find here all the openings, description with all numbers. This is the same as we inserted in the quantity surveying masonry opening schedule. We'll find here the aluminum works. Whatever we inserted here, description and dimension and numbers, we'll find it here directly in the cost estimation breakdown. What we will do, we will insert only the price per square meter. Usually, the subcontractors of aluminum and metal, they are giving the price according to square meter. That's the common figure and way to calculate the aluminum work or metal work to give you an indication for the price of the aluminum work. Of course, you will ensure this by collecting quotations for this activity. At the end, we'll find here the cost for the aluminum work and the price, and also here the weight or the ratio against the total project value. The same here for handrails, whatever we inserted before in the quantity surveying, the lens, you will insert here also the cost only per running meter or square meter according to your discretion. For cabinet, the same. That's the type of cabinet which already inserted in quantity surveying before here, just for reminding. The finishing work, that's the cabinet here. We insert already these descriptions and these quantities. Back, quantity surveying. For timber work also the same. That's the description which already inserted before in the opening. The same for the quantities. What you will do now, you will insert the cost for each type of door. Each type of door, you will insert only the cost of this and the profit ratio. After we will insert it, you will find the final price, which will give it to the client in the POQ or your quotation. After this, the landscape. We already inserted this here before in the quantity surveying of landscape and the quantities also. You will insert here the price per meter according to your drawings, according to the specification. You will provide all the type of landscape, softscape or hardscape as you according to your discretion. The quantities according to your drawing, which you calculated by within your drawing, and you will add here only the price per meter. At the end, you will find the total cost and the price and the weight of this activity against the project value. After this, we have the boundary wall. Actually, the boundary wall here is very easy to insert it. You will insert only the length of boundary wall and the height of the boundary wall and spacing between each columns. According to the drawing, you will calculate the length and you will calculate the height. If you have different heights, you can take the average and the spacing between the columns. Also, if you have a different spacing, you can take the average and insert it here. Accordingly, CMS will calculate for you all the required concrete, block work, plaster work, and the other type of finishing, and the gates price. Let's have a look how CMS will calculate all this and how to make any modification if required. CMS consider a common dimension of the foundation for each column, under each column, which will be one by one, with height of 0.35. If you have another information, you will just add. The same also for the BCC. That's the tie beam length, and you consider here 0.2 width and 0.4 for depth. For column, he consider the height is 2.5, which is the height of the boundary wall. Dimension of the column, the same for coping beam, dimension of the coping beam. He will calculate the numbers according to this spacing and the length of the boundary wall. Accordingly, CMS calculate all the required concrete for each element. The steel also for each element by percentage. He calculates by percentage. The labor which are required for this. He give also here some margin. And the total, that's the total cost for the concrete work. The same here for the block work. The solid block under the side beam, that's the quantity. He will calculate all the required material and manpower. The same also for the hollow block. Here you calculate all the required materials and manpower, and he gave you the total cost for the block work. The same also for the plastering. We will insert the type of mixing the plaster. Either it is mixed on site or ready mortar. Also the type of finishing, we have either paint or cladding. You will just insert here the quantities of cladding or GRC. Accordingly, it will be deducted from the paint and plaster work. At the end, CMS will give you the total cost of the boundary wall and the price. And they will give you here an indication for cost per running meter. After this, you need to insert the lump sum prices. CMS here giving you some lump sum descriptions. What you have to do, you have to insert these lump sums as you will provide from your subcontractors. Or here is the item which is not under CMS scope of calculation. So you'll provide it from a subcontractor. If you have a mobilization, so maybe you will need tower crane and site offices and fencing and whatever, you can calculate this all and insert it one by one in the BOQ. After you insert it in the BOQ, you will find the final price will appear for you directly. Also building permits and whatever you have for design cost and whatever, you will insert it here. For the watering work, you will insert here. For shoring, for piling, you will insert here. You can provide here the quantity of piles and the productivity per day. This will help for arranging the time schedule. For stainless steel work, you will insert it here. You can also give the area for the stainless steel work. That's only for scheduling purpose. If there is a fiber protection for the tanks, you will insert only here the cost per meter, and CMS will calculate for you the total cost because we already have the tanks area. If this number is okay for you, you keep it. Otherwise, you can change and insert it manually. The cost for fire system and the air condition, which it will be extracted from the MAP cost estimation as we did before. The elevator work, you will insert it also manually. If you have a steel ladder, you will insert it. Steel structure work, you can insert it also manually. You can add here the area for also scheduling purpose, the garbage chute, the lens for scheduling purpose, for also a manpower determination, the infrastructure work, which will be inserted directly here according to your infrastructure BOQ, which we already talked about before. And as it mentioned here, insert this item price in infra BOQ only. And the others activity, which you can add the description directly and the cost according to your subcontractors quotations. That's all the activities required in the building construction, and that's how to insert all the price and get the cost estimation. After this, we have to go for the profit. Thanks for watching and see you later. Thank you very much. Bye.